What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. We're going to be diving into my Jack Wolf Venom Jack. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I do have an overview and unboxing of this exact knife from the Lefty Pass Around group. So I did want to just really quickly go ahead and do a follow-up review because that was an overview, wasn't mine. I didn't get to carry it or experience it. So I did want to go ahead and do that. I thought it'd be helpful to actually just go ahead through the normal routine still and do some size comparisons because I think it would be interesting for you guys to see this against my medium knives. I'm not going to do all of them, just some of my mediums. So here is the CJRB Echo. Here it is against the Benchmade Bug Out. You can see good handle length for being a slip joint. And then we'll bring the Demco 80-20.5 out here, which is going to be another interesting comparison. I think I'm a little off there. So it doesn't have as much handle, but you lose a little bit here with the 80-20.5 because it does have that finger guard. But when you compare it to the Bug Out, it's still really close in that size comparison. I'm going to go ahead and close these up real quick just to show you the thickness on this knife. And for me, it is a little bit of a struggle because that walk and talk is so strong, but just take a quick look. It is right around the same thickness as the 80-20.5, and then the Bug Out with the contoured scales really similar. So I did want to do those because I thought it would be helpful, but I wanted to talk about this knife. So now that I've had it for a little while and I've had the opportunity to kind of, oil it and break it in, the walk and talk, just like you see and hear in all the other videos, has become smooth over time. The acoustics have improved over time because the smoothness allows it to snap and it moved away any of the raw finished material that's on there to kind of build in its markings. I don't know what you would call it, but it definitely very smooth. Now I did overview the one with the micarta, and the micarta that they're doing on those knives is really nice and really well done, but so is the fat carbon and carbon scales. Now I know our camo carbon scales, I know those are all of that materials brought in and put on the knife. What I'm saying is what they're bringing in is really well QC to make sure that it looks good, feels good on there, and has really good transitions. Now I love the gold matter dark matter gold carbon fiber. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Hey, that's what she said.
That they have on here with the fat carbon. It looks really cool. I love the way that it plays with the light, especially the gold, and the way that you get some of the silvers out of the carbon fiber materials. I think that looks really cool together. I do wish that I would have gotten a hold of the red. I don't know if it's camo carbon or fat carbon, but I think it is fat carbon because Venom Jack in the red, I think that would have been cool. But this is really nice. I love the hollow grind on here. It's done nicely. It works really well for me, especially because this blade shape for me with draw cuts, pinch cuts, getting into tight spots with tape, where some of the stuff that comes in here is taped so tightly that you got to initially get that in there. So doing that from back here, you can do that, but it's easier to come up to the tip to control it, to get it in exactly where you need to, as opposed to being way back here and you're trying to do it, you know what I'm saying, from far away. So I like that a lot. This is great because it'll go in an organizer. It did come with a slip. Comes that way from Jack Wolf, so you can drop it in the pocket, which is nice. It does go in again in my organizers. It fits in there perfectly. In the back, it'll just drop in. Sorry, I was writing a minute ago. So it works that way as well, and I have some smaller organizers like that, which is great. And you can also throw in your fifth pocket of the jeans. So I really do like these. I think they're well done to where you have a lot of space to be able to grip on there, even with large hands like me. I do hang off the front and the back just a little, but it's really not that bad, especially for a little slip joint. And again, pulling this out to use this is so unassuming. It's going to be so widely accepted. People are not going to think twice about this because it's going to be something like their grandfather or their father had. So really cool that it has that ability to kind of be what I would call a gateway knife. This would be a knife where you pull it out, you can talk about it, and just say, you know, if they ask, like, what material is that? That's really wild looking material. You know, this is carbon fiber with other materials laid in to give it a little bit of color, and they call it fat carbon, and it's a really strong material. It's laid on top of this titanium. You know, this is a super steel M390. Like, you can just kind of start talking to them and you'd be able to gauge easily if that person's receiving the conversation well. I would imagine if they asked about this, it's probably someone that may be potentially interested in the realm, even if they're not going to go hog wild into it. I even have a friend that sent me where he picked up a button lock knife recently because he just discovered that was a thing, and he talked about how cool it was. So I'm trying not to go like crazy on him talking to him about it, but I do talk to him about it a little bit just to kind of see where he's at and to gauge his interest level, because it's always fun when friends from other hobbies can cross over with you so you can have someone to be in the hobby with. I think all of us can agree with that. But anyway, I just wanted to do the overview on the Jack Wolf. And, you know, one of the knives that it does really compete with in my inventory is the QSP Hedgehog, which also has good walk and talk. Not quite as strong as the Jack Wolf pull, and the walk and talk is just very different. But as you can see, those type of blade shapes for me work really well. I like the way that they come down to a tip because it's more about the utility work, and the flat cutting surfaces for me work better. And I love the finishes on that QSP for the traditional pocket knife exclusive Hedgehog. Really beautiful knife. These are two that are great for, you know, office, companion carry. I can pull these out anywhere. No one's going to think twice about them. And I can kind of, you know, talk about knives in general with these. These are great conversation starters for me, in my opinion. But that's one of the knives that it does compete with for the companion carry. The other one is not a slip joint at all. But you can see, compared to the Hyphen, it is very close in size, and the Hyphen is definitely one of my main companion carry knives that I like a lot. So this is where that one's kind of fitting in for me in my category. It's companion carry, not a main carry. It would never replace my main carry folder. If I'm being completely honest, it is a companion carry that I like very well, and it's extremely well made, and the design on it is really cool. So that's where I'm at with the Jack Wolf knives as a whole, not just the Venom Jack. More companion carry, you know, something different to mix up the monotony a little bit from the folders that we're seeing all the time that are, you know, kind of similar, not similar, whatever you want to say as far as how that goes. Let me know what you think about Jack Wolf's traditional folding knives, you know, whether you have an Ohio River Jack or a Hedgehog or you have a Jack Wolf. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about them and collecting them or just having them as a companion carry. You know, this is something you could easily pull out, open up, you know, hand to the wife and say, here you go, so she can cut whatever it is that she needs. She can hand it back to you if it's someone that's not comfortable with opening and closing knives like my wife. This is something great for someone like that you can easily hand it to, that they're going to even be able potentially to just open this. They're going to know, oh yeah, this is just like what I've seen, you know, someone in my life use at some other point in time, and they're probably going to give it back to you open because they're going to be nervous about closing it. But either way, there's a multitude of reasons why I feel like a slip joint is a great addition to have, because it really does. I don't have my Victorinox out here. I didn't think to bring them down from upstairs, but I do have some A-Locks Victorinox that I like a lot too, that are a little bit more premium than the plastics. And to me, it's kind of the same thing as giving someone one of those. Actually, I do keep one down here. I forgot about that. So as opposed to, I don't remember which one this is. I brought it to leave here in the garage just in case, and you see it has no half stop. So, but it's a great alternative to that. Now this to me, more of a multi-tool type knife. I know it's a Swiss Army knife, but anyway, getting sidetracked. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and shout out to everyone out there for leaving the likes, commenting, and being subscribed. I love you guys. I appreciate all that support. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.